The Locked On Podcast Network presents the NBA Big 3 in 30. The 3 biggest stories in the NBA from our local experts at the Locked On Podcast Network. We bring you the real story, why it matters, what's next, who wins the big game, and more, all in 30 minutes. The NBA Big 3 in 30 starts now with the biggest story in the NBA.
When your season's on the line, who you going to call? Buddy Hield. We start off with Buddy Hield. We knew at the beginning of this season, it took like 3 games to know that when Buddy Hield is hot, and the stats back this up, the Golden State Warriors win. Hield had 22 points in the first half, 6 3-pointers. He had 22 points before Steph Curry hit a shot in this game, and the Warriors had a double-digit lead. Curry had 0. Hield had 22. Warriors were up double figures. Draymond had double-digit points at that point. Outstanding. Hield finishes with 33, had 9 triples in the contest. Playoff Jimmy hit just tough shot after tough shot. He is a big shot maker and a big shot taker. Every time the Rockets tried to cut a 14-point deficit into like 5, into 3, whatever in the second half, it was Hield, it was Curry, it was Butler hitting big shot after big shot, and the Golden State Warriors move on to face the Minnesota Timberwolves. Your opening thoughts on a huge performance from Buddy Hield?
Why does my guy think I'm hating on Buddy Hield? I don't hate on Buddy Hield. And tonight, what could you say? He was unbelievable. And like, first of all, that pass that Steph hit him with, when I think that was his first 3, the like weird over the shoulder. After that, it just seemed, when Buddy has those nights, man, it seems like he could just throw it over his shoulder and it'll go in. It's so much fun to watch. And he's just such a fun guy in general. I've never hated on Buddy Hield. I've maybe reported accurately when he doesn't have games, but look,
we've both hated on him, but it's not necessarily hate. It's literally reading a box score and saying he went 0 of 5 from 3 and did nothing. Yes.
Yeah, no, you don't get this every night. If he did this every night, he'd be Steph Curry, but he does it sometimes. And tonight he did it in the biggest possible moment. So you're not going to take anything away from that guy. And by the way, you know what I was thinking about as this game was closing? Buddy Hield outplayed Jalen Green in this 7-game series.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the Warriors will take that. That is, if you told anybody before the series, hey, you know what, Buddy Hield's going to have a better series than Jalen Green. Okay, Warriors win. Like, we know how good they are when he's hot, and tonight was certainly one of those nights. And you know what? Miguel in the chat points this out too. He was making an impact defensively tonight. He's never going to be Draymond Green, but his effort was good. He made fewer mistakes than we often see from him, and nothing but credit for Buddy tonight. He was awesome.
Warriors were awesome from the rip, man. I mean, it was Draymond with 8 points in the first couple minutes of the game, knocked down a few threes, went strong to the bucket for a layup. You knew that Butler was going to get after it early and often. Curry, though, you could tell the thumb was bothering him early. I think he missed his first 5 shots in the game, 4 threes. Didn't really look good until the final 30 seconds of the first half. Second half, however, when it came to Steph, he was getting inside. They were basically, over pressuring Curry to the point where he'd just go right past them and lay it up and in, had some slick reverses, used his gravity to his advantage all night and found Buddy Hield. Or found someone who would find Buddy Hield. Kerr pushed a bunch of the right buttons today. Udoka went with the lineup that had given them a plus 35 advantage entering this game. That's the 2 bigs with Adams and Şengün. And today was the first time in the series where it felt like the Warriors completely took advantage of it. And the reason is because when Buddy Hield is knocking down threes like that, it's a completely different team. And you're right. You don't get it every night. You got it tonight. And you just kicked the Rockets' asses, but forget the 103 points. That is the style that the Warriors wanted to play in this series. Don't turn it over as much as the Rockets. I believe that was a check in that regard tonight. They'd won every single game when they turned it over less. And you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they won that statistic.
Yeah, they killed them. Well, I mean, the Rockets didn't turn it over a ton, but Warriors only turned it over 7 times. And that's really the thing they need to worry about. And I swear 3 of them were on 3 consecutive possessions in the third quarter, too. So for most of the game, incredibly secure with the ball. The chat has been pointing this out already. Part of what characterized tonight was really excellent defensive effort from everybody across the board. Steph Curry, Buddy Hield, everybody who got, even Kuminga, who was terrible tonight. Defensively, the effort was there, right? The whole team for 48 minutes was all over the Rockets. And you see what I was trying to say and maybe didn't say elegantly enough on Friday. Like, this Houston team doesn't have any answers for that. They're not quite good enough. Now, look, they're an exciting, young, up-and-coming team that is a legitimate playoff scorer away from being truly dangerous. But they don't have that guy, and we saw it again tonight. And the Warriors made sure we saw it again by defending their butts off from the opening whistle. That was a big part of tonight. But, you know, it really is Buddy. And Buddy might not give you what he gave you tonight every night, but the Warriors are going to have to get that from somebody every night that they want a playoff win. Because I would actually argue, you know, who knows what the thumb, I don't know. But I would argue that as much as, if not more than the thumb, what slowed Steph down in the first half was they were double teaming him on the touch almost every time. I mean, the first half I was watching with my about to be 6-year-old, right? And I'm telling him, look, Podziemski's getting wide open runners from 5 feet because they got 2 guys on Steph 4 feet beyond the 3-point line. And Stephen Curry usually makes the right play in those situations. I think we've had some bumps in that road, but for the most part, Stephen Curry usually makes the right play when he is double and triple teamed. The question has been, are the other guys going to hit the open shots that they get? And tonight, Buddy hit basically all of them.
19 of Curry's 22 came in the second half. We'll have a deep dive on what he did in the second half, but I do want to give a shout to the Rockets for about 30 seconds. Specifically, I'm in Thompson. I said a few days ago that I don't know, if you can't knock down the outside shot, if you can't put any pressure on the defense to the point where they can sag 5 feet off you, then it's going to be tough to be a superstar caliber player. Even if he doesn't develop that shot, man, I mean, he's something else. He's a talent. He really grew on me in the series. Yep. Şengün wasn't awesome today by any means. I thought the Warriors did a great job at defending him, but it was also just Şengün missing some point blank buckets. I mean, there was one, he had a chance for an and one. You could see that he was angry. Went up for a little finger roll and missed a 2-footer. And that was kind of the story of the Rockets night. They missed a lot of close shots. Van Fleet did not get enough shot opportunities, only took 6 threes in the game. He needed more than that. He had 17. And you mentioned it. Jalen Green was kind of the X factor in this series. If he could get going, he gave the Rockets a little bit of offensive firepower to keep up with the Warriors. And when he's only scoring 8 points and you're getting 11 points from your bench, which consisted of 3 from Jabari Smith, 5 from Tari Eason, and 3 from Steven Adams, that is not enough. Rockets are on the rise. They're a piece away from being a legitimate contending team in the NBA. But as of right now, they are a 2 seed that are upsetted by the 7 seed. Rebounding battle today. It was 52 for Houston. It was 38 for Golden State. Who cares? When you turn the other team over more, when you hold them to 40% from the floor, 33% from deep, that is how you win basketball games. Warriors 18 threes on 43 attempts. Draymond with 16, Butler with 20, Curry with 22, Buddy Hield with 33, Podziemski with 9, 3 for Kevon Looney. That was how the Warriors tallied up 103 as they advance to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign in to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Avowed as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. And with 4K streaming, watch more than 1.5 million movies and TV episodes from your favorite subscribed services like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and more. Head to Amazon.com/FireTV Locked On to get started. XPass Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller is required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen.
Pacers 1, Cavs 0. The Pacers go into Cleveland. They beat the Cavs in game 1.
You are Locked On Pacers, your daily Indiana Pacers podcast.
The Pacers are up 1-0 in their series. They beat the Cavs by 9. And I think they just made another 3 just now as I'm talking, about an hour and a half after the game. They just made another one. Tough ones, open ones. It doesn't matter. They went in tonight. Pacers offense was humming. Their process was good. The results were better. The Cavs were off. They were missing an all-star, and the Pacers took advantage of a game they had to get. I'll explain why, but I think everybody kind of knows in a game that they looked pretty good. Their style, once again, rules the day. Their first road game 1 win of this era, and they now have home court advantage. If Tyrese Haliburton, who has never lost a home playoff game, if that continues this series, the Pacers will now win because they stole this one. So much to get to, but the start of the story here is the offense of the Pacers, who were on fire from deep in this game. Many have credited their shot making as an outlier shooting game, and in some ways that can be true. And you shoot 53%, that's obviously an outlier game, one of their top 5 percentages of the year when you look back through their regular season game log. And of course, they will look back and say, man, some of those were a little lucky. Benedict Mathurin at the buzzer of the shot clock late in the first half. Miles Turner at the buzzer of the third quarter, although wide open as he shot faked and let a defender go flying by him. Andrew Nembhard on the right wing at the buzzer of the shot clock in the fourth quarter. He had another tough one. Ben Mathurin had a tough one in the corner to end a Cavs run in the third quarter. A lot of threes that were legitimately challenging threes. The Pacers don't not get credit for making them. Those are tough shots that they made. That's what basketball is all about. But the other 14, 13, whatever numbers left of the makes were earned threes that the Pacers have shown throughout the playoffs that when they're playing the way they want, which they did for most of this game, and I think they'll be happy with the pace that they set, they can make and take with just about anybody on the floor. The Cavs wanted to switch. So that was a big talking point coming into the series is, would that switching defense look like the Bucks defense in the second half of game 3, or could the Pacers tear it apart? Jared Allen ends up on guard sometimes. Evan Mobley's on everybody. Donovan Mitchell is on everybody. And that led to the Pacers being able to throw skip passes to open threes, right? When guys are switching, there's tends to be guys pinching in to cover for the switch or whatever. And Tyrese Haliburton ripped that up. 13 assists and just 1 turnover for Tyrese Haliburton. Again, stat lines that, if you watch the Pacers all the time, seem very routine and normal. That is not normal. That is extremely rare to do. That's a good number for like a team in a quarter or a half. He had more than half of the Cavs total assist number, for example, just on his own. And Andrew Nembhard, 6 assists, 0 turnovers on his own in this game. They were both moving the ball very, very well, as the Pacers offense process-wise was still good. And so I get how you will hear a lot after this game of analysis that says, man, the variance, the shot making for the Pacers on their side. And in a lot of ways it was. They made some tough threes. They made over half of their threes. They're going to win a lot of games, if not all of them, when that happens. And the Cavs also missed a lot of threes. But if you generate enough good ones, you're going to make threes. And the Pacers did that in this game. And that wasn't the end of their offensive experience, because they shot better on 2s than 3s. And of course, that should be the case every game. But they got good looks inside too. And I think that's where the Cavs switching defense really caused them some problems, right? Not that you want to target Jared Allen. He's a good defensive player. But when he got switched on to a guard or a perimeter player, whoever for the Pacers went at him. They were not afraid to go against the fro and try to take it to the basket against him. I was very surprised by that. Sometimes that led to Siakam settling for shots against him that I thought the Pacers would not really care for. But a lot of times that led to them getting into the paint where they can play the way they want with paint to great basketball. The points in the paint battle was dominated by the Cavs, 70-38, but the Pacers scoring in the lane and the passes they got to better shots from that spot on the floor was still very good in this game. That's why their assist numbers were so solid and their turnover numbers, albeit a little too high, from the players that were routinely making the passes, were not particularly high. So I think they've got to be thrilled, even in a game where people will go, oh, well, they can't shoot that well again. Yeah, probably not. But they still did a lot of stuff well that they can do again. And the evidence for that would be, 1, that they just did it against a pretty good defensive team, and 2, that they did it the entire first round. You guys heard me after every game practically against the Bucks going, well, man, the Pacers got whatever shot they wanted for 40, 48, 45, whatever minutes, and the Bucks couldn't stop them. And yeah, the Bucks went on a run late, but it didn't matter. The Pacers got the shots they wanted and they won the game, right? That happened every game in the first round, basically. And so Cavs, better defensive team, better talent, but missing a key player and unable to score as much as they usually do. They can't set their defense as much. The Pacers absolutely took advantage of that. And you will see quotes that this was a shot, like about the shot making in this game. It's one of the first things Rick Carlisle said, mostly because it was one of the first things he was asked about. But he said, we had an exceptional shot making night. Later, he said, shot making is great when they go in, but they got to focus on the process all series long, right? Like that was a very clear message from the Pacers. But Andrew Nembhard on the process part said, I think the ball movement was good and the threes were in rhythm. A lot of times when a lot of guys are touching the ball, it has good energy about it, right? Like clearly they felt good about their play and their ball movement, their offensive processes. It wasn't like the Wizards game in February, if you remember that, where the Pacers were in DC and they needed Herculean shooting to get to overtime and then beat the Wizards, where their offense was bad, but their shot making was awesome. No one after the game was pimping their hits about the offense, right? They were not happy about it. They just happened to make shots. This time they were happy about it, right? Tyrese Halliburton said, it's good that we get this game out of the way so I get more film to look at, right? They didn't have a lot of relevant film against the Cavs in regular season. Now they have it, and their offensive process in it, despite not having that many reps against them, was still good. That speaks to their preparedness in a way that I thought it did against the Bucks as well. But big picture, when I remember this win, and I think most people will, this will be remembered for the shot making and the offense that the Pacers generated. And that basically extended to everyone. Tyrese Halliburton, you guys get to hear the Tony East line, was wonderful on twos inside the arc. He had a wonderful game, 22 points and 13 assists. He made 7 twos on 9 attempts, plus 2 free throws. He's talked a lot in the past about how he feels like the mom of the offense, the way he's, asked to get everybody involved and move the ball. Somebody asked him after the game how he did being a mom today. Very well was the answer. And we'll talk more about him later, but his defense was amazing in this game. Miles Turner made shots. He hit the biggest three of the game to me at the end of the third quarter. The third quarter was the only Cavalanche, a 17-4 Cavs run made it close, but some huge shots from the Pacers to weather that storm. Ben Mathurin hit a huge three with 2 minutes to go after the Cavs went up 4. I think that was the Cavs' biggest lead of the second half, and Donovan Mitchell was rolling before Ben Mathurin hit a corner three on a pass from Halliburton. That was a huge shot. And then Miles Turner at the buzzer of the quarter on an assist from Pascal Siakam, the next biggest shot of the game, of the quarter, whatever you want to say. It put the team up 2 and really allowed them to put it away and feel comfortable heading into the fourth quarter in a way they wouldn't have without those 2 makes. That was, again, part of their offensive process, but some nice shot making and some huge ones there. But anyway, Turner gets credit for that end of third quarter shot. Aaron Nesmith was and has been this whole playoffs just so rock solid, scoring the ball, 17 points in this one. He made 4 threes. Pascal Siakam made some timely 2s in this one. So still good stuff from the Pacers on the offensive, but those guys were all very good. And Ben Mathurin did play a very good game off the bench. He certainly had some layups he missed that he would like back, but he also certainly thought he got fouled. 2 of them on one possession. He did get fouled. I'm not a ref guy, but then he got it back on the other end when he blocked DeAndre Hunter in one of the biggest swing plays of the game. That a foul was uncalled, even though Mathurin hit him in the chest with his left hand. The refs were letting stuff go at the rim today. As much as players, and I saw people tweeting about the belly aching of the refs, I thought they called it actually pretty consistently without calls at the rim. Regardless, he had a good shot-making game. Obi Toppin made half of his shots. TJ McConnell was 3 for 5, and that's what the Pacers want, the balance that they got today. 6 in double figures, 2 guys with 7 points. Their leading scorer, Andrew Nembhard, with 23 points. How does Nembhard keep scoring 20 points? And I'm like, he is like, what, 8, 9? Oh, no, he is over 20. It's remarkable. So a lot of themes from the first series pop up today. The Pacers offense was able to generate largely good shots. They made a lot of them. They made tough shots too. That can be contagious, but a lot of new stuff in that it's against a different team and the balance was there. They have not had a 30-point score yet in the postseason, and yet their offense still is humming and rolling, and they're doing stuff very well. And they're up 1-0 against the Cleveland Cavaliers because of their offense. Thus, we're 14 for 15 from the foul line. Turnovers were really their only offensive blemish in this game, and I guarantee we'll talk about turnovers later. It already has been talked about by the Pacers. But in general, wouldn't you know it, an offensive team, a team that I wrote a story about before the postseason, should be leaning into their offense for their adjustments in this series. And a team that needed to score to keep up with the Cavs did exactly that. They scored. They kept up with the Cavs. They did just enough defensively to win. And the Pacers lead 1-0.
There's nothing like the energy of a live game, whether it's catching a last-minute Major League Baseball showdown or soaking up the excitement of an NBA matchup. But finding great seats at a great price, that used to be a challenge until Gametime. With last-minute deals, all-in prices, and the lowest price guarantee, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Plus, ticket prices actually drop as the beginning of the game gets closer, so you can score amazing seats at a great price. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Gametime.
The Nuggets stomp the Clippers, destroy them, vanquish them, and they didn't even need a great Jokic game to do it.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast.
All year long, one of the things I thought was really a rough part of Denver was how great Nikola Jokic was, in the sense that everyone felt like they were failing him. Yes. It was like a really heavy thing for the whole team, was like Jokic is having an unbelievable, incredible, like unbelievable is the word for it. You can't believe how great his season had been. And the fact that people couldn't raise the level for them to win more games or to get him a break was actually really demoralizing. And I think it's incredibly cathartic that in a game 7 at home, Jokic has one of his worst playoff games that we've seen, and the Nuggets steamroll the Clippers thanks to the defense and contributions of everyone on the roster that was in the top 7 guys. So like the top 7 guys all making plays, and the defense coming through for them to get this monster win.
I firmly agree. It's something I was thinking about on the way home. Like, so much of this year has been about, oh man, Jokic has just had another 30-point triple-double, and the Nuggets are still struggling. Oh man, Jokic is playing pretty well against these top teams, but Denver not really getting the job done. Oh, they can't get a break. Oh, I can't do this. Like, he's doing everything. And that was one of the key arguments in the MVP case, of course, which we're going to talk about in the next few days. I have no doubt. But this was the epitome of a team win. This was exactly what you want when you're talking about a team win, from the perspective of, hey, your best guy doesn't have his best stuff. How do you respond? Do you fold? Do you allow yourself to like say, no, that's it, our best guy doesn't have it, so we're going to go home now? No. Like Denver, and this was the great thing about the 2023 run. Yes, it was kind of the coronation of Jokic in a lot of ways, but there were so many great moments for every single person along the way that was a part of that run, including DeAndre Jordan in those 2023 runs. So like having this moment is a great reformation, whatever the word is, that Jokic is freaking awesome. Like, he's great. He's the best player in the world. Nobody is disputing that. But you don't win this one without a team. You don't win this one without everybody else stepping up. Russell Westbrook, fantastic performance. Christian Brown, fantastic performance. Aaron Gordon outplayed Kawhi Leonard in the biggest moment of this particular series. And just one of those games that I'm going to remember about everybody stepping up around Jokic and Murray, who did not have their best stuff, and it didn't matter because the Nuggets did.
The Nuggets won the non-Jokic minutes and won them decidedly.
Jeez.
They started off the second quarter. By the way, like, let me take you back in time. Do you realize that the Clippers led this game by 5 after the first?
I as somebody who is doing the game notes and trying to account for the different moments in time at the beginning of this game, holy cow, did it not feel good early. It felt pretty bad.
Yeah, like, how are they possibly going to win if this is going to be the Jokic game? He looked hesitant, and he looked off, and he was still trying to draw fouls and all these types of things. And then the Nuggets just absolutely took it to him. I'm going to credit Jokic for something later in the show, for something where I thought that one part of his game, spoiler, is his defense, was actually really tremendous and looked even better when I went back and did the rewatch while I was hastily slurping some ramen down before coming on the show. It was also spicy, so I'm a little...
Hell yeah. I love good spicy ramen.
To start the second quarter, the Nuggets start off with a 16-4 run, led by Russell Westbrook, who we will talk a lot about tonight.
Yeah.
To me, there were 3 guys in total that really shaped this game, that controlled this game, that were the difference in this game. And it was Russell Westbrook, Aaron Gordon, and Christian Brown. And CB on rewatch, his defense there's some little stuff that we'll get into. But his defense was unfreaking believable. And his offense, he got into transition and got downhill and attacked with confidence and made them punish them for being like, we're going to hide James Harden on you. And CB finally did what I've been waiting for him all series to do, which is to punish that and absolutely just be like, Harden doesn't want to defend, make him work. And once they did that, it was curtains for them. Aaron Gordon.
Do it. Go off. Let's go. Let's go.
I love basketball. I watch it all the time. I watch it morning, noon, and night. I get up. I start doing work. I start watching clips. I take the kids. I come back. I watch clips. I do a show. I watch clips. I'm consumed by this. I do this all the time. And one of the things that has always sparked in me since I was a kid and I first watched this stuff is that there are plays that you can make that help you win a game that don't show up in a box score. As much as I love stats and have as good of an understanding as I can have them, and I'm always working to understand them better because they're the actual factual information that backs up the events that occurred. It's the actual evidence of that. It's the quantitative era of it. There are plays that you make. And Aaron Gordon tonight had the numbers. Like the numbers were there for sure. It's not like he didn't have a good game from a box score standpoint. You know, he finishes with 22 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. But it was the difference of AG hit first, middle, last on Kawhi Leonard. He bodied him every single possession. Kawhi made some jumpers. Woo for the shooty hoops. Aaron Gordon beat the snot out of Kawhi Leonard tonight. He challenged him on every catch. He challenged him on every drive. He sealed him in the post to make Kawhi work on defense to where Kawhi did not want to engage in this game. It was too physical for Kawhi Leonard because Aaron Gordon brought it. His passing was sublime. He had an underneath pass that was absolutely ridiculously sick. He had so many huge key plays. Aaron Gordon is a winner. He wins basketball games. And the Denver Nuggets are lucky to have Aaron Gordon as a centerpiece of this team, to have him be what DNVR calls Mr. Nugget, to have him be such a pivotal part of the soul of this team, because this win was less about X's and O's, though David Adelman did some work on a very overrated person in Ty Lue. I like Ty Lue, but he's overrated. But this was more about leadership, heart, hustle, and the mentality. The Nuggets played like champions tonight because that's what Aaron Gordon is.
I love it. Like, here's the thing about these kinds of games. You need your stars to show up, but you also need your role players to try to take out the opposing team stars. And I think the Clippers did that as much as they possibly could with Jokic. They even did that pretty early with Murray. Kawhi went 6 of 13, 8 of 9 from the free throw line, 2 of 4 from three. Like, he had 22 points. It was a pretty good stat line. They needed more. Like, they needed him to be out there more. They needed him to be present more. They needed him more involved. And the fact that Aaron Gordon was willing to engage with him every single time and hit him every single time. And it wasn't just the hits in game 7. It was the hits in game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we have credited Matt more so, obviously, over the course of that long period of time. But it is those body shots that really do numbers in these situations. And I think Jokic actually felt it too. So it can take a little bit of a learning from this, that it doesn't necessarily matter as much. Yeah, Aaron struggled in game 2 when Kawhi went off in game 2. Like, it wasn't even really his fault, but it was just the fact that Aaron stuck with it over the long haul, and it allowed him to activate and be in this position in this moment and win the game for his team.
A lot of Clippers fans actually in our comments saying congrats, and I want to credit them for being good losers. That's great. That is like the way that you should behave. And like, thanks for listening to the show. Appreciate it. I think you guys have a tremendous organization. I think Steve Ballmer is the best owner in sports. I think Ty Lue is a really great coach. I think the makeup of your organization, a lot of your role players are tremendous. I think you have a great front office development staff. I think you're in a really good place. As soon as you get an actual leader on your team, you're going to be in a really good spot. Unfortunately, you have a guy that's going to duck while James Harden takes all the slings and arrows. Although Harden did duck out of media tonight.
He did. Yeah.
So let's talk Russ.
Absolutely.
The recency bias is always a real problem because it's like the last impression is always the most lasting. And so if he has a rough series versus OKC, we won't say or feel these things. And so I want to take this moment to say this because this encapsulates the entire season. Signing Russell Westbrook was worth it. His addition to this team was worth it.
Yes.
Russell Westbrook is always going to be divisive. And I loved his commentary tonight where he said, it's going to be everything. It's going to be, I might make it. I might miss a three. I might turn it over. I might make a steal. I might make it down. Like that's the epitome of how he plays. The Clippers dared Russell Westbrook to hit open threes in this game. And throughout the season, Russ shot well from the corners. And we did not pay enough attention to it because you and I maintained it can't go well in the playoffs. It never does for him. Well, buddy, it went well in the playoffs, and he knocked off the team that blamed and ditched him.
Yeah.
And he was a force of nature tonight. He was a one-man hurricane and ripped through that franchise. The Clippers did not have the makeup of the intensity they needed for a game 7, and the Nuggets had Russell Westbrook, and that was a huge difference in this game.
I love that perspective. I do genuinely love that. And here's the thing. I've been pretty open about I didn't think that this was ultimately going to work well. I would be happy if it was. And I am happy. I really genuinely am, man. Like I want this to be a positive experience and for him to have his moment with Denver. And I want this to be great for like it's not just for like Jokic's legacy or the Nuggets legacy or them doing it better, but it is pretty clear to me that the Nuggets bought into Russell Westbrook and who he was and what he could provide in a way that none of the LA teams did. Like they adapted, the Nuggets did. They took who Russell Westbrook was and built a good team around that and built a good team in a good situation around that and allowed him to be who he was without trying to force him to change. The Clippers added James Harden, and you do that like because it's James Harden, but like when they did that last year, it kind of shuffled Russell Westbrook to the side and put him into a really tough situation where he's trying to adapt around those guys and Paul George and just trying to they're using him as a small ball center. Denver never really did that in his time here, and maybe they'll have to at some point. Maybe that's something that they try, but like they have allowed Russ to be Russ, and I think he's really appreciative of that in general. And this was a great kind of full circle moment on early in the season. The shooting wasn't great. It was a little bit shaky. You don't know what the decision making is going to be like. It just didn't matter, man, because he played harder than them. And he executed when it mattered. So I'm happy for him. He totally deserves it. The way that he's bought into this Nuggets team, and he's been consistently good for this team, good for this locker room. It is a very cool experience. And the quote that he delivered tonight was that was an all-timer.
Tonight, and I'll look up the season series stats sometime. Tonight on corner threes, the Nuggets shot 4 of 10. The Clippers only shot 2 of 9. They only generated 9 open threes, but like this is a lot of it is the Clippers did not generate enough threes in this game.